welcome to Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where we come to you every Wednesday to inspire, encourage, and empower you to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. I'm Anna, your host. I'm a retired school teacher, an author, an educational consultant, a jewelry consultant. Also, I dibble and dabble a little bit in the health field. I'm also a certified cake instructor, which I have been teaching cake decorating for over 20 years, okay? And so I bring to you a wealth of knowledge and experience to our conversation. Plus, I'm old too, been living a little while. So each episode, we dive into topics that, can enrich our lives, whether it's from education to personal development or health concerns. And, of course, let's not forget the art of jewelry, which I love. So this is done by workshops, and I also sometimes I bring in speakers who speak, and sometimes I just share knowledge. So I guess what I'm doing now is like a little series. So I consider this maybe a workshop. It's like a little snippets of the courses that I'm going to be offering, and I'm going to be offering these courses online as well as in person. So, for the last, I guess, maybe 5 weeks, I have been talking about course one. So tonight I am going to kind of get into course two, okay? And we'll talk about that just a little bit later, because I do want to let you know that we do explore inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical advice to help you live that blessed and fulfilling lifestyle. So I want to thank you again for tuning in to Sweet Blessings, where every conversation is a treasure. So we are going to go ahead and get started a little bit. I always start with a little prayer on all of my live platforms that I'm there. And so this is a short little welcome prayer for my bakers, those people who are really, really concerned, and it just help all of us. So, because I want you to realize that this is a safe place for those people who bake, and don't be afraid to bake or to decorate. So it says, Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of creativity and the joy of sharing it with others. Bless our hands as we learn and create. Guide our hearts to patience and excellence. And let this time together be filled with laughter, learning, and sweet connections. Amen. Isn't that a nice little prayer? I like that prayer. I found it and I said, oh, this will be just great for my baking series. So I want to say welcome again to, I guess you could say course two, the little snippets for course two, elevating your cake decorating skills. Now, I do want to let you know that course two is totally different from course one, which was decorating basics. So now what's happening is you have completed some of the little snippets, or I can say you've mastered some of the skills from course one, and now it is time for us to elevate our skills. And this is a little bit more intermediate, so that's why it's called intermediate. Brilliance, um, reaching an intermediate level of your baking. And when I talk about baking, I'm not just talking about the home baker, I'm also talking about the business baker as well. Because there are some people who want to go in business. And I will tell you that my story, basically, I am in business. But when I was teaching, I had students that did all kinds of things. And I want to let you know that the sky is the limit, and it's very, you can be very creative and innovative in this field. And I am proud to say that some of my students, and I mentioned this before, have been on Cupcake Wars. um, some of them have opened up businesses, and some of them are unique businesses, if I must say so. And just like I still communicate with my students that I taught in the regular school, I still communicate with my students who were my bakers. And to me, that is such an honor to know that they still consider me as a resource, because that's just basically what I am. That's what a teacher is. A teacher is a resource. It's a person that gathers information and shares it with others. And so I want to say again, congratulations on completing Course 1 and mastering the basics. Now it's time to take that creativity and confidence to the next level in Course 2. We're going to explore more advanced techniques, you all, that bring your cake to life with elegance and precision. Now, I've all told everyone that I've told you my story, that I did start baking at the age of about 7 or 8, you know, but was never a decorative baker until I was later on in my age. And it's just a skill that I acquired later on. And I always tell people that I feel like, you know, God places you place. I've never in my life would ever have thought that I would be teaching cake decorating. For real. But I always wanted to teach school, you know. But it just turned out that way. And, you know, sometimes God places things in front of you that you need to accept. And so now I have, you know, I've accepted it. And I'm grateful for it. And I'm going to share it with you. So, we're going to take another commercial, because you know I do this. But we're going to take another commercial, and I will be right back.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
Welcome back. I'm Anna. I'm the host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And tonight we're talking about cake brilliance, intermediate cake for businesses, and cake design or cake art for home and for businesses. So I did do a little presentation. So tonight we're going to go back and forth. Okay, a little bit. I'm going to do a little presentation, and then I'm going to show you some things as well. So let me pull that up real quick. So cake brilliance, cake art, and home for home and businesses. Because when I talk about cake design, I want you to keep in mind that I'm also referencing both home and baking. And you'll hear me give little pointers for each. Alrighty. So what will you learn in Course 2, Flowers and Design? Well, You're going to learn how to create beautiful flowers with royal icing. What? Royal icing. Well, that's a new icing, y'all. Remember in course 1, we learned about what? Buttercream icing. So, now we're in course 2. And course 2 is basically about royal icing, where you make the flowers on a cake. You see the flowers on the cake, and you can eat them. They taste like candy. You know, they're kind of hard. And that's what we're going to um, learn how to do. Well, tonight I'm not going to make royal icing, but next week I will be making royal icing for you. Just like I made the buttercream. It is totally different. It is very temperamental. Uh, it dries hard as a rock right away. And I'm going to let you know that it also comes in stiff, medium, and thin. Okay? So, but it's a great icing. You'll see this used a lot in wedding cakes or specialty cakes and things like that. You're also going to learn some techniques for piping borders and scrolls. You're going to learn how to work with fondant a little bit for smooth finishes and accents. So we're going to do a little, like I say, it's just this all goes on in course 2. Now, remember what I told you, my courses are 4 weeks long, and each class is 2 hours long. So I do cover a lot in those classes, and what I'm doing with this series is just giving you a little snippet of what's in the course. So if you're interested in it, you will sign up. My first course will be in September. So I just wanted to let you know, look for things. I've started to advertise for it, and I'm setting up my sessions and everything now, so the dates you'll be able to. By next week, I should have those dates for you. Okay? So I do want to say that this episode is about refinement, creativity, and control. Giving you the tools to decorate like a pro while developing your own unique style. Whether you're decorating for fun, business, or a special celebration, you're in the right place to blossom as a cake artist. Okay? So, let's get piping, shaping, and dazzling. Okay? Look, so we're going to take another commercial. When I come back from the commercial, I'm going to show you what? Some equipment that we will be using in course 2. All right, we're back. You see me just doing this because I just love the music. The music and everything. So, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm Anna, and I am the host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast. And tonight we're talking about cake brilliance. Okay? Learning cake design, intermediate cake design, or cake art for home and business. So today I'm going to show you some equipment. I have all of my things back here. I know you saw all this stuff back here and was wondering, what in the world is that? But these are some of my notes, as well as I'm going to be talking about a few of the things here. So I want to talk a little bit about equipment and some of the equipment that you will be using in course 2. So the first thing, naturally, well, I'm not going to start with that. I'm going to start with something so I can move it over a little bit. Move that out of the way. So you should remember this from course 1. I talked about the spatulas. And remember I told you that they were different sizes, okay? This is what we call a tapered spatula. And this tapered spatula, we use it a lot in course 2. Now, if you recall in course 1, you can use them in all of the courses. But to me, some of the courses require a little more precision and a different technique. In course 1, it was rounded top. This is a tapered top. And like I said, all of these equipment and tools that I'm showing you, you can get these on Amazon at my store. I have a store there. So if you want to, and that's it down there at the bottom. And and it says hashtag ad. I put that there because, it's a disclaimer, because this is an ad when I start telling you where to go get it, where to go get the products, okay? But there are other places where you can go to. Most places carry them, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, as well as did I say Walmart? I might have said Walmart, but you can order them online at the Wilton.com. Some of these things, if they're Wilton. Now, I believe that this is Wilton, but because I do use other products besides Wilton. But we're going to use the tapered spatula on this one. Also, let me put this. I'm gonna put that over there as I go through it. We're also going to use. I'm gonna pull this out first. I'm not going in any particular order. This is what I hope you can see. I think you can see this. Let me get up a little close. This is what we call a flower nail template. And so this is when you register for the class, you will get one of these where you can make copies. And during the course, I'm not going to do all of these courses. I might demonstrate one or two of these flowers here for you. Because then if I demonstrated them all, then you wouldn't have anything to learn in the class. But daisies, mums, violets, apple blossom, primrose, these are all the templates for those flowers. Okay, so it's a different aspect. So you can see now that how different this class is from course 1. Totally. So you have the template. Then you're going to be using, where's the other one? This tool. Now, it's more sizes, you all. They come from real teeny weeny to kind of large, okay? And what we call these are called flower formers. So you will make your flower in one of these. So I'm going to try to demonstrate it. Sometimes it's a little difficult. So what I might do for one of the series is to demonstrate different things. Like I didn't get a chance to demonstrate in course 1 what you do with that long tip. So I might, do a cupcake and do that. So, and if I get a chance, I will do one of these flowers, okay? So these are called flower nails and flower formers, okay? You're going to form the flower within this, okay? And then how you do that, let me put this over here now, is we use um, these little squares. They're just really like they come in colors. This one just so happens to be one side is um, silver and the other side is gold. Okay, and this is what you put down in those flower formers and to make your flower. Because when it comes time to lift your flower out, you lift it out with this, and then you let it dry. Okay. Where do you let it dry? I think I can move all of this now. Is you're gonna let it dry on this. Now this is called a drying tray. Let me make sure I tell you the right terminology for this. And you see it has ups and downs. Okay. So you can lay your flowers on here and you can let them dry. And once they dry, you can remove them. But you have to be careful because you know that these flowers are hard and they break just like that. That's why people don't realize that's why people charge so much money when they make those flowers, because you have to make more than what is required because they break very, 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 very easily. So you're going to lay your flowers on the flower dryer. That's what this is called. They put this my room over here. I don't want to mess up my flower. I think I do. Now, I do want to say this before I put this up. That you can get several of these, and it has a little ridge here, and you can put them together and you can lay them there. So if you're making, a whole bunch of flowers that need to dry, then you could lay them out there on the thing, because each side has a little ridge that fits into the other. And I'm sure that somewhere across the time you will see me demonstrate that as well. Okay. So you can see why I wanted to do equipment, because it's a lot in course 2. Now, do you know what this is? Can you see it? Oh, there it is. I guess I better put it in the camera. But do you know what this is? This is so when we make a flower, the little stamen that's in the middle, this is what we put there. Okay? So this is a tool too. This is a tool. So I needed to show you this because we might make a flower where we have to put the stem in. We want our flowers to look realistic. Okay, that's basically it. We just want the flowers to look realistic. Let me put this back in the bag and move on. You will also, I hope I got it in here. I don't see it, so maybe I didn't bring it in here. But you are also going to use a paintbrush, a tiny paintbrush. I don't see it. I thought I brought one. I thought I brought it in here. And I might have brought it in here and dropped it. I don't know. I'm trying to see. I call how you call yourself, Getting yourself together. I don't see it. And I moved all this. Let me see. Up here. Oh, no, I don't see it. So, but anyway, you're going to use a paintbrush. You're going to use a little paintbrush, and we're going. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to make. It's called. Anyway, I'll tell you a little later what it's called. I just let you know we're going to use a paintbrush, and we're going to use this, and this is basically what we're going to use the paintbrush with. So I'm not going to tell you this is just a blossom, or it could be a cookie cutter, or, uh, you know, whatever, but it's shape. It can be a fondant cutter as well. But we're going to, I'm going to demonstrate. I know I will be demonstrating this one. I love this one. Okay. I love this technique that I'm going to be teaching. That one. It's so pretty and elegant. You know what I'm saying? Now in this course, we're going to use about 11 tips. So you're really going to get a chance to really practice with tips in this course. Now, course one, you got a few little tips. You got about 7. I think you get about 7, or we practice with about 7 tips. But in course two, there's at least 11 tips. One of the tips, we will use quite a bit, and it's a very popular tip. So we're going to be using, this is tip 352. And tip 352 is a leaf tip. So this tip, we will be making leaves. Now remember that I told you all of the tips came in various sizes. Okay. This is also a leaf tip. But as you can see, it is bigger, and I believe this is 366. I'm not really sure. Let me see. Yeah, I was right. This one is 366, but they both, as you can see, are leaf tips. So we will be using both of these. Hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate this one. This is the one that I demonstrate in that nail former there. So hopefully I'll be able to have enough time to do it next week. That's why I just give you little snippets of it. We're also going to be using this tip, and then this is tip number 47. Now this tip here has a rough edge and a smooth edge. And so there's a technique that we do with this, and I'm going to teach you that as well. It's called a basket weave. I love it. It is, I don't know if I'll be able to do it in this class because it takes a while to teach it, but it might be one of my demos that I do for a basket weave. And I will show you, I love basket weave cakes, but I will show you some of the cakes that I have made, plus some other basket weave cakes that were made. Now, remember, I told you about the circle tips, and we used tip 12, which was this tip, for the icing around that cake to keep the filling in. Well, in course 2, you're going to use this one again, okay, the 12. But you're also going to use 1, 2, and 3. So these are 1, 2, and 3. And if you look, the holes are very tiny. So you can imagine that we are probably going to be writing with these or outlining with these small tips. But here are 4 tips. They all are circular. They're in the circle family. But they give you a different technique. Okay? And these are all the tips and things that you will learn in course 2, Flowers and Designs. Then we have, I have tip 21, which is a star tip. I could not find my tip 14. I don't know where it is. But I will look. If not, I'm going to have to purchase a tip 14 because I need a tip 14. And I know I got one here. All them tips I got, I couldn't find a tip 14. But I'm going to look. And ooh, the tips that have this little, like crown, like jagged edge on it, these are tips that make stars, but they make different types. They make different types of stars. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Here is Anthony Garcia. And can we all say happy birthday to him? He asked me to say happy birthday. So happy birthday, sweetheart. I hope that your family's going to make you a cake. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Isn't that sweet? But anyway, these that look like the crown, they have the crown on them. They are what we call the star tips. And you know, I demonstrated a star tip. But in course 2, I'm going to demonstrate a different technique that we would use with that star tip. Okay? And then we have, this tip is called a 59. And I don't know if you can see it. It's curved, kind of like a C there. Let me see. Yeah. This is a unique tip, and uh, it does a unique design. So hopefully you'll get to see that. If not, you have to take the class. Now this to me is besides that number 12, which is the big circular. This here is the other most popular tip. It is what we called a petal tip. And it comes in various sizes. Like I said, all of them come in various sizes as well. So let me put this back up. I'm still not through with equipment. So as you can see, there is a lot involved in course 2, Flowers and Design. Now, my hope is that you would take course 1 first because it's the basics. And once you complete course 1 and get your certificate for completing course 1, then I would proceed on to course 2. Because all of these courses that I'm offering are teaching you a different way of using icing and a different icing. And I'm still going to do a workshop on the different types of icings as well as the different types of sugar that are out here, because all of those things are very, very important. We just don't have the brown sugar, the dark and the light, the granular sugar. There are other sugars too, the raw sugar, the stevia, the natural sugar, the cane sugar. There are many, 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 many sugars. Okay, so I will attest to that and give you a little snippet of that, or do a knowledge workshop on that so that you would know that. I might have already done one. It might be in my YouTube collection from a while a while back. So remember that practice board that I showed you? Well, we will be doing a lot of practicing. A lot of practicing. Okay? So if you want, you will need a practice board. You can make a practice board. This is nothing but a piece of cardboard with covered in some vinyl, and they put that plastic thing on it. Okay, I've used this a lot. You see, it's taped and everything. But I practice on this. This is the smaller ones that I practice on. But I also have some others which I also showed you in course. You know, when I was given the snippet for course 1. I showed you those too. So we are going to practice, practice, practice. So, because remember what I told you, practice makes perfect. And I always say, remember, think about a baby. Because when you have a baby, the baby doesn't know how to walk. But the baby keeps on and keeps on and keeps on, trying and trying and trying. And he keeps on practicing and practicing and practicing until he can walk. And everybody says, "Oh, look, he's walking, he's walking." But honey, it was a struggle for him. He practiced. He practiced and practiced until he got. He looked at others and saw that they were standing upright. He wanted to stand upright too. So he practiced. So that's what you have to do in cake design. You have to practice. It doesn't matter whether you're baking it, decorating it is practice. The more mistakes you make, the better you get. I hate to say that, you all, but it is the truth. You have to learn how to correct those mistakes that you make. Because everybody makes mistakes. But what happens is you just don't know what to do when you make that mistake. And so that's where Sweet Listine's desserts, the dessert queen, comes in handy to let you know what you need to do to make your cake be successful and designed. All right, so I think that might be. Let me see. Let me look at my notes, y'all, because that might be all for equipment. And if it is, then we are going to take a no, it's one other thing I want to show y'all before, and after that we are going to take a commercial. I told you about the brush. Well, this is what we call a parchment triangle. It's shaped like a triangle. It's almost shaped like, those scarves we used to wear along. I date myself. The younger generation wouldn't even know what I'm talking about. But this is what we call a parchment triangle. It's shaped like a triangle. And remember I told you in course 1 that I use parchment paper a lot. So, and I also told you about the decorating bags. And I told you that there was several bags. You had the featherweight bag, which you could use all the time. You had the disposable bag, which you use and throw away. So tonight I'm going to demonstrate the parchment bag, because there's a parchment bag. And parchment bags, you use them when I use them. I'm not going to tell you when to use them. You have to do your own, learn your own niche. But I use them when I'm doing small items, and when I'm using that tip 1, 2, or 3, that's where this one comes in to play. Okay? So I want to do, and I think, did I bring it? Yeah, I did. I brought 2 couplets. I thought I guess I got everything here except for the brush. I don't know how I missed the brush, because it must be still in there on the kitchen table. But I brought 2 of these because I demonstrated the past weeks on what this was, and I will review it. This is what we call is a coupler, and the coupler has 2 parts to it. We have a bottom, which we call this the bottom. I don't know if you can see all this real good, but and then this is the ring. The ring goes on top like this. So I'm gonna demonstrate the parchment bag, but next week I'm also gonna demonstrate another type of tip. There are other not another type of tip, but another type of coupler. There are other types of coupler, you all, that you can use with your decorating. One of them is that you don't have to, you just take the tips off. You can still use it, but just take the tip off, which is great. Sometimes you just don't want to have to do a whole nother bag. And these are things that you learn as you go on. And then there are tips where you can put more than one color on something. So next week after I do the royal icing, I'll try to go over those tips as well. But I want to, I'm trying to watch my time here. I want to, I don't even see the time. Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I want to be able to demonstrate. Now, I'm going to demonstrate the full bag first, okay? So, when we have the full bag, we have corners. So, we have A, B, and C. So, this is going to be A, this is going to be B, and then this is going to be C. The C is in the middle. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take B first. Or whichever way you want to do it, we're going to do the right side first. Okay, if it's A, if it's B, B. Okay, and you're going to roll that tip down so it meets the tip of C. It meets the tip of C. You see that? Meets the tip of C. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Bring it around. You're going to bring it all the way around so that tip meets the top of the tip. So you have you remember the cone? So now you have a cone. You see, I'm sweating here. Now, once you have it like this, you're going to make what I call is a W. You see the W? You're going to make that W. You're going to fold that W down inside of the bag. And then we're going to make an old-fashioned paper clip. Now, I know I might be dating myself, but, before they had the metal paper clips. Can you see this? You just take it and you tear it down on both sides. Excuse me, I got to get a tissue. You tear it down on both sides. See, I'm sweating. Might be the lights, though, y'all. But you want to tear it down on both sides. And then what you want to do is you want to bend it down so it doesn't move. It's fine now. So I'm going to do 2, I think. And I took the base. Here. So we're going to take the base of this and we're going to put it down in that bag as far as it will go. So as far as it will go. Now, you can do the same thing that I did before. Take a pair of scissors. Let me see if I got scissors here. And you can mark it. Let me see. I think I got a pen or something here. Let's see. Maybe not. But, oh yes I do. I'm prepared. So you're going to take this pen and you're just going to mark around that edge. And you can do it ever so lightly. Can you see? It's around that edge. And then I just take it out a little bit or raise it up a little bit. And I take my scissors, and where I made that little line, that's where I am going to cut. Then I'm going to put my coupler back in. It should fit very nicely. See? You see the bottom of that comes out. And then I can take one of my tips place it on here on the top of the ring, and then I take the ring and twist it on. So this is how you prepare a parchment bag. And when you do this, you're going to open it up. It's the same thing you're still going to have when you put your icing in. You're still going to have your hand cupped as a C, like this. You're going to scoop, put it in, and squeeze it and pull it out. When you're done, you're going to fold your bag because you don't want that icing to come out. And then you're going to roll it down. So if you watch people decorating and stuff like that, you'll see them using bags like this. These are what we call parchment bags. Now this is a full bag. This is what we call a full bag. You saw me use the full triangle. However, sometimes it might call for, you don't want that big bag. You might want a smaller bag. And so you can also use this to make a smaller bag. It's the same premise. Make sure I got it even here. And I just took the larger parchment and I folded it in half. I'm just going to cut it. So now I have two triangles. I can make two bags, two smaller bags. The same thing, A, B, C. We're going to take A and we're going to roll it down. Roll it. I'm going to roll it down to C. Roll it down to C. Take the other one, you're going to roll it all the way around. It should fit on the C too. You want it to match up. All your corners should be matching. This one here is rolled down. Let me just get it up. So it can be matching. Okay. All of your corners should be matching. Once your corners are matching, then you're going to maneuver and make a W. There's that W. See the W? Roll the W down inside of the circle. Make your paper clip so that it does not move. We're going to take about two couplers. So I'm going to take the other coupler. Ooh, can I get the ring off? Maybe not. Looks like this one is stuck. So I might not do this one because this looks like it is stuck here. You know what? It is always something. Well, this one is stuck. But anyway, you would do the same thing with that. Fold it down. And you will see people using these bags, really small bags to decorate with. These are parchment bags. So you're going to learn something different and how to use the parchment bags because it takes skill. And like I said, we're just going to practice and practice and practice until we get it, okay? That's what it's all, that is basically what it's all about. So what I want to do now is to bring up back my PowerPoint presentation. Let me put all my little equipment over here and bring back, I think I dropped something, one of the couplers. And bring back my PowerPoint presentation. Hold on. It might be commercial time, I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't think so, though. I gotta get my notes to see. Oh, Lord, have mercy. No, it's not quite commercial time. Wait. Let me bring back up my, sometimes I get ahead of myself, my PowerPoint presentation. Because I want to let you know, hold on, what we're going to learn. So I've given you some little things about what we're going to learn. But the next thing is very important. I want to talk to you about the color wheel. Now, it might sound like we are in school or, but based upon what you learned when you was in school about art, it takes a play into cake decorating. So most of us have had, when we had art, they talked about the color wheel, and we had the primary colors, the the complement, the colors, all the colors are here on the color wheel, and basically blending those colors together, you get other colors. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the color wheel because the color wheel is very important in cake decorating. A color wheel can help you select complementary or neighboring colors, use various shapes of the same color, choose colors that reflect a theme or an occasion, and select colors based on the season. So you can do a lot with colors. And so what I tried to do in this slide is to give you a little presentation. You always have one little letter that goes out wrong on my thing. But anyway, it is what it is. But I wanted to give you a presentation of the different types of colors. So we have the complementary colors. And you find these colors directly opposite each other on the wheel. Colors will look brighter when shown with their component or complement. So this is complementary. Then over here we have neighboring colors. And the neighboring colors are a group of three colors side by side on the wheel, which will work well together. Each color will have an element of its neighbor. Okay. Then down here we have monochromatic. Right here, this is monochromatic color, and you use this in decorating your cake. You got to think about the colorings on your cake. You want it to, and I'm going to talk about that a little more in detail maybe next week. Okay, because there's two type of colorings. I might as well show you these type now because I brought these two here to demonstrate. We have the liquid type plus we have the gel type. Now both of these are Wilton, but most cake companies will have both of these. Both of these are good, but both of these have their drawbacks. Okay, they both make colors. This one here is hard to get the same color. If you don't make enough icing out of this one, if you run out, you're going to be in bad shape. Okay, because it's hard to make the colors. However, with this one, this is a drop one. So if you're careful and you drop in and you count your drops, you can always remake the icing that you made. You know, um, and that these are some of the things that might happen when you are decorating. But monochromatic is one color but different shades of that color. So I tried to show that there in that slide. And then we have the triad, which is colors which may seem unrelated, can still work beautifully on the cake. So you want to choose those colors that are equally spaced around the cake. So that's why you see this triangle here. So if I went here, it would be here would be the beginning, and then I would go out and down, or here, and then go up and out. Over here, here, go up, like that. It's usually every three colors as well. Okay. Like I said, I told you the colors. Just a little bit review about from course one, because it's important that you remember that they're the three keys to success, and they are. Let me put this back down here. The three keys to success, they were ice and consistency, and you know that we have stiff, medium, and thin. Stiff we use to make roses and stick those flowers that sit up. The medium is done with regular flowers, and thin is usually for writing or for um, piping, small things. Then we talked about the bag position, how you hold your bag. And I showed you the clock. And, we have 90 degrees, 45 degrees is to the 3 if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, it's to the 9. Then we have 6 o'clock, which means the back of your bag is facing the 6. And then we're going to learn about the rose, and I think we are in course 2. It does that. It's a different type of rose. In course 1 is a rosette, and course 2 is the actual rose. It takes time to do those, so it would probably take me the whole hour to teach you how to do the rose. That's why it's not done. I'm not doing it in the snippets, okay? Because it's a process. It is a process. So that's why I said we want to make sure that we practice, practice, practice. And pressure control, pressure control. How you squeeze that bag. You've got to get that consistency. I know y'all hear consistency all the time. Consistency is the key, y'all. Consistency is the key. It doesn't matter what you in, where you are. Consistency is the key. Okay? So, I think we're going to go to a commercial, and then when I come back, I'm going to give you a summary, and we're going to wrap this up. Okay? Hold on. Well, I am back. I am back, and glad to have you back. I'm Anna. I am the host of Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and podcast, and I come to you every Wednesday to inspire, encourage, and empower you to live a blessed and fulfilling lifestyle. Now, some people ask me, how do I get in touch with you? Well, you can get in touch with me at info at annalifestylellc.com. And you can do that if you are interested, okay, in advertising, sponsoring, doing commercial, or even being a guest on my show. Remember, info at annalifestylellc.com. You can also reach out to me at CTR Media Network slash Sweet Blessings. So I just wanted to um, let you know about that as well. I've already told you that the items that I am showing you this evening, um, you can get them at my store, Anna's Treasurer, OC-20. And also to let you know that this is an ad. It's an ad disclaimer. I do go live on two platforms during the week with my jewelry, and that is, that is Facebook. I'll tell you about that one in a minute. That's the info. Well, no, it's on here. Here it is. That's Facebook.com/ALBrothers928. So you can watch me there, but you can also watch me for the time being on Instagram. I don't know how long that's going to be because they are, I don't have 1,000 followers, I only have 600 and something. And so they are requiring 1,000. And so eventually, if I don't do it, I'll eventually get that 1,000. I'll be back on. But if not, I'm doing best, the best I can. And I do go live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday with my jewelry, uh, which is the JazzyJewelsCollection.com. Come on out and support me. You don't have to buy anything. We play games, we have fun, and all kinds of things. So by all means, come on out. Now, this is my website, you all. So if you want to um, learn a little bit more about Anna, you can go to AnnasLifestyleLLC.com, and you will find everything all the things that I do that the Lord has blessed me with, that I am willing to share, because you should give, and I'm giving. Okay, I've always been a giving person. Also, my Facebook followers, they can reach me at facebook.com/stars. Okay. So we want to, I just wanted to kind of show all of my things real quick. Also, would you subscribe to my YouTube channel, y'all? It's youtube.com/, a little curly thing, at Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, SWE. So I'm asking people to subscribe to my podcast as well as we speak. So I want to bring back up the color wheel now. And I just want to remind you, from your kitchen to the cake table, just always remember to decorate like a pro. Okay? So let me give you just a brief summary. I can find my notes. Tonight we learned a little bit about in this episode we learned a little bit about understanding the color wheel, learning the basic of color theory, and how to use the color wheel to create harmonious palettes. We explored complementary, contrasting, triad, subtle effects, and tips on adjusting the color intensity for buttercream, royal icing, and fondant, because they have the same basic tendency, we learned about the essential equipment. Review must, you know, for intermediate decorating, the flowers and flower nails. Oh, I didn't tell you about the flower nail. Did I bring it in? But anyway, I'll tell you about it next week, the flower nail. I told you about the flower former, but I need to tell you also about the flower nail, and I will tell you about that. But you will learn about that next week when I do that royal license. I'll have a little more time. Um, you learned about the foundations, the templates that I said we would learn different things from. And the most basic thing that I really want you to take away from this tonight is consistency, consistency, consistency. Practice, practice, practice. That's what I want you to take away from this tonight, because hands-on technology is what I want to give you for tinting, icing, and fondant with gel colors. Okay, so we talked about that. And you can use these on all of the different ices. Every last one of them. The royal, the buttercream, and the fondant. Yes, you can. All these colors you can use on that. By the end of this course, too, you will be confidently working with colors and tools, setting the stage for gorgeous floral designs that shine on every cake. Whether you craft in the home celebration or clients, this episode gives you the artistic foundation to create with intention and beauty. So, with that being said, I want to thank you for attending Sweet Blessings, the Anna L. Brothers Show and Podcast, where I hope that this evening I have inspired you. I hope that I have encouraged you. And most of all, I hope that I have empowered you to live a fulfilling and blessed lifestyle. Next week, I will be making royal icing. Please tune in if you're interested in learning that. I'll also be posting my when the class will be starting in September. So, with that being said, I'm just going to leave you all. You know, I'm going to leave you with my 3 L's because they're very important, and I think everybody should utilize these 3 L's, and the first one is to live. Live your life. Live it to the fullest, y'all. You only got one life. We're not like cats. We don't have 9 lives. We have one life, so live that life to the fullest. Do the things that bring you joy and happiness. And don't forget to do number 2, laugh. Laugh is so important. Laughter is good for the soul. So make sure that you spread some of that laughter around. And then the last thing is to love. Love. Love is wonderful when you have it. But please, by all means, make sure that you love yourself. So with that being said, you have a great rest of your evening. And I will see you all next week. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
we bless.